Hi Brian.
Morning Derek, how are you?
Very well yourself.
We're going to show people how easy it is to install a Voyager automatic pool cleaner. So let's go.
Okay, first we've got in the box is your disc.
Then it's the body of the machine itself.
You have a bumper strip to protect the body and get away from steps.
Right. And
we've got one leader hose.
How do you know it's a leader hose? Very flexible, eh?
Very flexible, and it indicates here leader hose.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're going to assemble the machine. Very important that these pins face upwards and it's marked top. And that you put on over the top and under these little wings we call them, or the intake, and this shouldn't move freely. Now we come to the bumper. Now you've got a cavity here which the legs will go into, and you put it onto the first notch like that. You don't want it to bow too much, right?
Great. And then the leader hose directly onto the first one on the machine.
Okay.
And there your machine is ready.
Now you're going to follow on with the other hoses.
Yes.
Which are not as flexible as the leader hose. So male into female.
Female. Ensure you hear the clicks.
Okay. Now you're going to follow on until you've got the correct length of the hose. And then we're going to install the control valve. You'll see here it's got a 45-degree angle with this connector. So you get a very good connection into the hose. Okay? And then into your suction point.
If your hole of your suction is too big, we supply extra cone width to insert inside the lid, and therefore it's a solid finish.
Right. As you notice, this machine has no hose weights because this machine is self-balancing. So no hose weights are required, which makes it even easier to install the machine.
And the Voyager pool cleaner needs less suction, so Brian, let's go through the valve.
Right. Now the valve, it's a multi-purpose valve. Get that connection off. Okay, the plastic there.
Okay, so we supply the plastic bag. This comes with the box, Brian.
That comes with the machine.
Okay, so therefore we take the blue connector directly into the weir.
Right, so you've got a direct connection.
Correction. The cone, and then the female part of the hose where you removed the valve directly onto, so you've got a direct suction.
It's a multi-purpose control valve. Self-regulating. It's a valve to give you more or less suction. Okay. Now this is also marked here HCL. L for low, C for correct suction, H for high suction. Now to measure your particular flow rate through your system, it's very easy. As I say, we supply this connector, and we have the flow nozzle, which you put on the 45-degree side of the valve.
You remove the hose from the machine.
Yeah. You put your flow nozzle in at the 45 and your hose into the straight part of the control valve. Now you can actually read your flow rate. Low, correct, high. If it's high, the machine doesn't like a lot of suction. We have a little plunger at the back here, stopper, which you'll take out. And that will allow more bypass to go through here and here, and that should be your correct suction.
Correct.
So coming back to the measurements, always the front part of that blue plunger is what you would use as the indicator. So you can see the end of the plunger here, the leading edge. You always take your reading from the leading edge of the piston.
When you check the flow rate, ensure that you put the lead hose back onto the machine.
And remove your nozzle, otherwise the machine will not operate properly. So you take that back, take that out,
Correct.
and then
Remove the thing, and where you had your valve before,
connect in and into suction. This particular vacuum that is typical for Australia. First of all, you have a spring-loaded bypass valve here. Ensure that it is completely closed, that you're not getting as little bypass as possible by cranking it closed. So in other words, turning it clockwise. Then we take one of these cone and we put it into, because it's quite a big hole as you can see. Then we put that in. Okay. Then Derek, just carry on with the rest of that.
Okay. If you install the valve, the straight part downwards, and it's not sitting solid, remove the valve, add another cone, which is supplied in the box, on top of the other cone. Take the valve, the long part,
Straight part in.
straight part in.
Okay.
Okay. Then we take the 45-degree elbow,
Right.
and then all these parts are supplied in the box with the little plunger, and one of our hoses has got an insert in it. Slide it over the plunger, and you've got a perfect 90-degree.
I see, so lead out into the pool. Yes. Okay, so that's quite straightforward.
And all these parts are supplied inside the box.
Okay. If your machine is running very slowly, it could be that your vacuum lid has got cracks in there. The water will always follow the shortest route, so it will rather go through that crack than go through 8 meters of hose. So ensure that it's not cracked, and when installing your vacuum lid, make sure that these are underneath those little locking nuts.
Ryan, if this is not properly installed, there is suction coming inside of the lid. Just ensure that you give the cone to make sure it's solidly tight before installing it.
Nice tight connection.
Nice tight. If the machine is still performing slow, I prefer people switch off their pump, put the multi-port valve onto bypass.
Right.
So we're taking the filter out of the suction.
Right.
And if the machine increases its speed, your sand filter is dirty and your sand needs to be replaced.
Another point that you could look at, if your pump lid itself, the lid on your pump, if that hasn't got cracks, or the O-ring has gone flat and is sucking air through there. If the machine is getting stuck in different corners, it could well be that you've got too much suction, and that's got a tendency to get caught in the curvatures or on steps, etc.
Just ensure always, for corners, better random movement, the leader hose must be attached to the machine.
Always onto the machine. Right.
If the machine is not climbing the wall, 90% of the time it's because the curvature of the wall is more on the 90-degree side than the 40-degree side. When I say that is, that will be a nice little angle for the machine to climb, but you get some pulls which is more of a 90-degree. By eliminating that, you cut the disc from the 4 holes that you see that's included in the disc, cut it outwards, so it becomes 4 segments. And this will allow the disc to lift up and the machine to climb up.